Is there about to be a massive crash across all of crypto? There's actually a pretty high likelihood. By the end of this video, you're going to understand why. Welcome to RTBro's Trading Academy, where we focus entirely on the charts, completely ignore the news and fundamentals because the news can be manipulated and the fundamentals can't be quantitatively valued. Well, there is a lot of weakness in the market, so let's go ahead and dive in and let me show you why I have actually sold off about 30% of all my cryptocurrency last night. We haven't had that massive breakdown yet, but I think it is coming very soon. So, this is the overall structure of cryptocurrency or of Bitcoin, right? And these are our primary levels that we are looking for. Ultimately, I am expecting us to break out of this consolidation structure and touch this golden pocket retracement from November to January. Nothing has really changed in my long-term perspective that this is going to be the macro top. However, in the short term, it looks like we actually have some bearishness that we're going to go over here. All right. Now, the first and most important thing that we have to fully understand is that we have a ton of resistance here, guys. We really, really do. This is a weekly breaker that has acted as a major resistance for quite a long time. So we tested it, tested it, and we're now testing it for another time. Now, although the more it gets tested, the weaker it becomes, it's still a major support level and we cannot just ignore it. Okay, so this right here is a very massive level. And once we get above there, are we in the clear? The answer is no, we're not. Right above that, we have this massive monthly level, which has already been tested as well. But again, this level is very significant. Inside this monthly level, we also have the yearly open right here at 46,230. Yearly opens are very significant and they do provide a lot of resistance if you're coming in from the downside and a lot of support if you're coming from the upside. All right. Also, this is the 21 weekly moving average. It's also the 147 daily moving average. Sounds like a really weird number that doesn't mean much. However, in cryptocurrency, the 147 daily and the 21 weekly actually do have a lot of significance, and they're intersecting right around the yearly open right now. So, all of this together just goes to show you that we are in a massive consolidation cluster of like a massive wall that it is very hard to get through. Okay. And it's really hard to say that we're going to be able to just punch through this thing without any sort of resistance. Okay. I know we've been down here for quite a while, but we need to respect this level as the major resistance that it is. Okay. Not only that, when you go to the lower time frame, we can absolutely see some bearishness here, guys. This is clear bearishness in this structure. Why? This is a swing high. Okay, we came up here, got above the swing high, but as you can see, we've now dropped back below it. So last night, when we did not stay above this high, I actually have exited quite a bit of my crypto position because this is a swing failure pattern. I've talked about it on this channel, and a swing failure pattern absolutely is a bearish structure, guys. This is a bearish structure, and until we're able to get back above here and start consolidating and pushing up, this is a very bearish signal, okay? So we cannot ignore this. So my bias has to remain that until we do get above here, that I have to remain bearish. And not only that, even if we do get above this level, we still have a ton of resistance right above us. So, due to all these factors, it makes the most sense that we are going to drop down. Okay. Now, how far are we going to drop? That's the big question. And the one thing that's really hard to fully grasp. Okay. This is a daily breaker, and we've already come down here and tested it once. It is held as a support level like you would expect it to. But if we drop back down here again, is it going to hold again? Probably not. Honestly, probably not. And if we do fall down, where are we going to go to? Well, there's this order block right here. This is the massive bullish hammer that we had back on 15 March, right? This level right here, I think, should act as a pretty major support level. So it's not that much of a drop on Bitcoin, around 8 to 10%, but our altcoins are going to get hurt a lot more than Bitcoin because altcoins are essentially a multiplier of whatever's happening on Bitcoin, right? So if Bitcoin drops 8%, our alts might drop 20%, okay? And that's just across the board. Now, there is a lot of bullishness on a lot of our altcoins right now, so they may not drop as hard as Bitcoin, or even they might even continue to keep going up, right? But there are rare situations and where that actually happens across the history of crypto. And it's really hard to make an assumption based on an event that happens very rarely. So, the safe play, or at least what I'm doing, is I'm taking profits at this level and then going to be scaling back in as it keeps dropping, or as our altcoins start to show additional strength. So if our alts do start showing some strength, especially like certain particular alts that are looking really, really good despite the bearish pressure from Bitcoin, I will slowly add more and more position into those altcoins as a show of strength. But right now, because we have all of this resistance up here and we really don't have much support, I think the most likely scenario is that we drop down here for some sort of a consolidation structure so we can eventually break the upside, right? Now, the obvious thing is if we're able to actually get back above this level around 42,500 and start trading above it consistently and show some bullish market structure, I may flip from bearish to neutral, but ultimately, I don't think the smart play is to be full on bull mode until we get above this massive block, especially the yearly open, especially 21 weekly moving average, and especially the monthly breaker. There is a lot of resistance up there. Now, let's look at the other indicators and see what they're telling us. Now, the short positions and the long positions actually look bullish. Okay, so this is a bullish indicator for us. There are a ton of longs that continue to open up. This tells us that the whales, the big money makers, are still confident that the market's going to keep going up, right? And that's one of those things to where the market is a game of probabilities, right? And so statistics and probabilities and things like that. So this is a bullish indicator. This is giving you additional confluence that we are going to continue going up, right? The shorts are also at an all-time low level. That means that whales are not confident it's going to go down, right? So if they're not confident it's going to go down, that means that they are confident it's going to go up. So the shorts and long positions actually are giving us bullish signs. Now, DXY does look bullish here. Okay, this still does look bullish. It's relatively neutral, but as long as we are still above this trend line, I have to assume that this is a bullish continuation structure. Not only that, if you go to the higher time frame, this is a golden pocket retracement of this entire structure, but we're actually consolidating inside the golden pocket for quite a while to give me the confidence we're probably going to break the upside, which is really not what we want to see for cryptocurrency, guys. And this is something that is definitely concerning. And until we start breaking down on a Bitcoin dominant or a DXY, specifically breaking down from this rising trend line, until we really break down from here and start showing some bearishness, it's really hard to be hyper bullish right now in cryptocurrency as a whole. Now, obviously, things could change, right? But as of right now, as of the time of this recording this video, this does not look healthy for cryptocurrency, okay? Now, the Dow also had a really pretty bad day today, right? So we're down a 1.5%. It's not that much of a big deal since we have had such a nice increase over the last few days, but a 1.5 down is quite significant, guys. So, and the crypto market and the stock market is intertwined and they do tend to flow about the same. So, if the Dow starts trending downwards, generally Bitcoin starts trending downwards, all right? Next thing to look at is Bitcoin dominance, all right? And this is the one thing on this chart that's really starting to get me a little bit of question marks, right? Because Bitcoin dominance still does look bearish, right? And if Bitcoin dominance looks bearish, that is good for alts, okay? That means if this goes down, that is good for altcoins, all right? Now, this level right here, this is a weekly level, and I do expect that this weekly level will give some sort of support, right? And remember, Going down is what we want to see. So if it's supporting this, this is essentially a place where altcoins are going to start to suffer a little bit, okay? So when we drop down here, this is the area where I really want to see it push to the downside, right? If we want to see alts continue to run, we're going to have to get down here and keep falling, because if we start falling beneath here, we have a lot of open space to go all the way back down to this level, okay? And although it may not seem like that big of a deal, this is the level of drop that we saw that had Ethereum Classic double in price, okay? And a lot of our other altcoins is showing a lot of strength. This is the level of drop. This is all it took for all these altcoins to really, really do well, right? If we start dropping even further and more aggressively, we're going to see a lot more altcoins do like Ethereum Classic, and they're really, really, really going to start running, okay? But understand that we are still stuck between these two levels. And if we do come down in here, I do expect our altcoins to suffer relative to Bitcoin, right? That means if Bitcoin starts to drop, I'll expect that our altcoins to drop harder. And if Bitcoin starts to rises, I would expect our altcoins to rise slower, as long as this level holds as a support level, okay? Um, and the next thing I'm talking about is the total 3. Okay, total 3. This indicator looks really good on the high time frame, and yes, it looks healthy. Okay, the total 3 does look healthy. This trend line does not look very clean because trading views bugged out when you go to high time frame, but this trend line does exist and it is actually accurate, and we have broken above it. This is a weekly breaker, and this weekly breaker has held as a very solid support level, and it's also the golden pocket retracement of this entire movement. So as long as this level holds, I have to remain bullish on the macro perspective for altcoins, right? So I am still bullish on the macro for altcoins. But if Bitcoin starts to drop, I expect the entire market to have a drop with it. Okay. And that's essentially what we're going for here. So, yes, this does look good. We are breaking up from this trend line, we are holding this level. But since Bitcoin is really starting to press against some very serious resistances, we would have to see a major shift in the entire dynamic and go into a true altcoin season, which is possible, but we don't have those signs yet that it's actually here. So the safe play is to take some profits and to hold on to it, preserve your capital, wait on the sideline until there's more confirmation. That's what I'm doing, right? I cannot give you financial advice, but I'm just telling you what I'm doing in my own position. Now, the thing we're going to talk about next is the crypto fear to greed index. Now, we were in extreme fear for a very long time. However, we're now starting to get out of extreme fear and going closer to the greed side, right? So that means that people are starting to gain confidence back in the market. They're still overall fearful. They're still not sure this market is going to reverse and keep going up. So we do have further up we could go on the fear to greed index, but it also shows that we also do have further to drop if we really want to start dropping back down to the 20s again, right? So ultimately, the confidence, the consumer confidence is starting to get back up. They're starting to become more bullish in the market, but that can absolutely drop right back down to extreme fear very, very quickly. But if we do have a massive, massive candle that just shoots us straight to the upside and we get right above the yearly open, right above the 21 weekly, right above the monthly breaker, all that good stuff, this also has a long ways to go before we do get into the extreme greed section. And that would probably really take into effect if we get up to our golden pocket retracement around 53,000, right? So, guys, the market just looks okay. It doesn't look great. It looks okay. Altcoins look really good, but we can't take our eyes off the ball, and the ball is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the king. We must always know what's going on. And unfortunately, Bitcoin is at some very major resistances that we can't ignore it, guys. We really, really can't ignore it. So, I hope this all makes sense. I did take quite a bit of profits. The Patreon group is up around 20% in the last week. We've done a really, really good job. We had a play on Jasmine. We had a play on Ethereum Classic. We had a play on Request. We had a play on EOS. Like all in the last week, we've nailed some absolutely, absolutely awesome calls. So make sure you guys check that out. Make sure you guys are a part of Discord. If you want to get all my calls, you have to be a part of the Patreon, guys. And the Patreon is a really, really good deal for the value that you're getting. Outside of that, guys, I appreciate you guys like always. Make sure to like and subscribe this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Like always, deuces, boys. I'm out.